I would like to begin with an Islamic greeting and the way we in Indonesia greet the audience. Both mean peace be upon all of you. Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. First of all, I would like to extend my gratitude to the community of Sant'Egidio who is inviting me to this very prestigious conference. The theme of the conference is quite relevant to our situations since we are free from the pandemic and we are facing the so-called new normal life. I a little bit modified the themes into multi-faith collaboration in the post-pandemic time. As much have been said, COVID-19 pandemic that hit the world since the end of the year 2019 has brought miseries to human life. Many people, including in my country, Indonesia, and including religious leaders, maybe dozen hundred passed their way because of the COVID-19. No single country was exempt from the pandemic, and almost all countries suffered. World economy has been stagnated, and political hegemony stopped. Since the last 2 years, the world has shown rapid change economically. Economic recession affected the entire world economy with greater detriment to some countries than others. The crisis endangers many countries around the globe, and certain countries, including my country, Indonesia, are painstakingly trying to overcome this crisis. COVID-19 pandemic has brought fundamental change in human life as they have been imposed to practicing the health protocol, especially wearing masks, always washing hands and taking physical distance when interact with others. Implementing this health protocol has also affected regulation in worship, such as in Islam, in mosques, Muslims should take physical distance, while they were told to take closest distance with fellow worshippers. In the field of education, since learning activities take the form of online, many impacts have occurred mentally and psychologically. In countries without adequate information technology infrastructures, some negative cases have occurred, such as students could not follow learning well, which in turn, according to many experts on education, has led to learning loss and even generation loss. Yet COVID-19 pandemic has also paved the way for creativity and innovation. Many examples of online business in culinary and other consuming goods, especially health items, have taken place and been developed. Due to any restriction in communication, virtual conversation have spread out globally and connected many people to engage in finding a solution for the post-pandemic era. Religions and religionists must come out as the solution and the problem solver. Allow me to share a little bit the Islamic perspective. Pandemic and other miseries in human life in the Islamic perspective are considered as musibah, misfortune, or bad things afflicted human being. It is God's decision, but in the same time a consequence of human's deed. Pandemic is form of mischief done by men, whether derived from what they ate, or behead or mischief they have done. In the Holy Quran, it is stipulated in chapter called Rum, Surah Rum, yeah, verses 41, mischief has appeared on land and sea because of the deed that the hands of men have earned, that Allah may give them a taste of some of their deeds in order to turn back from evil. Ladies and gentlemen, human civilization has faced degradation by the emergence of multi-crises in the world in the last few decades. The modern civilization has demonstrated global disorder, uncertainty, and accumulative global damages, compounded by poverty, illiteracy, injustice, discrimination, and many forms of violence, both at national and global level, and of course, climate change and global warming. So this is the reasons that we need to extend what I call it interfaith collaboration. But this collaboration should have an ethical basis, and I put it in the human fraternity. The signing of Declaration of Human Fraternity for Peace and Coexistence by Pope Francis and Sheikh Al-Azhar, Dr. Ahmad At-Tayyib in Abu Dhabi, 5 of February 2019, signifies an historic milestone of the history of humanity and human civilization. It has not only symbolized a friendly relation between two supreme religious institutions, namely the Vatican and Al-Azhar al-Sharif, and then two great religious communities, the Muslim world and the Catholic churches, but also a strong commitment to the preservation of humanity and human fraternity. Religion are indeed for human being and humanity. They derive from the ultimate being, the Creator, conceived and called by different names, yet they are not for Him alone. Rather, religions were sent to human beings for the well-being of mankind. In the Holy Quran, it is stipulated that Prophet Muhammad's mission is to spread peace and mercy to the mankind. Therefore, enhancement of humanity and human fraternity is a must. It is a collective responsibility of human beings, regardless of their race, ethnicity, culture, and religion, to advance the degree of their humanity, as humanity may fall down to the lowest level. So, what needs to be done in a viable collaboration? Sharing responsibility becomes a compelling duty as no one individual, organization, including faith-based organization, can walk alone. Partnership with other faiths and sectors becomes crucial for addressing the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. In the context of interfaith collaboration, we need to explore ways to move beyond political and theological dialogues. We need to develop cooperation as part of a well-grounded dialogue. It is cooperation that reflects and represents our common concern to heal the world. Together now, we face serious accumulative global damages. We witness people who suffer of poverty, energy crisis, water crisis, hunger, and other human calamities. It is our humanity duty to find ways for more positive and constructive cooperation on the ground. As a matter of fact, there have been many dialogue and also collaboration between the people of different faiths, including initiated by the Community of Sant'Egidio, who has success stories and conflict resolutions. And we together, the Community of Sant'Egidio and my organization in Indonesia, Muhammadiyah, were members of the International Contact Group for Peace Process between the government of the Philippines and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. And we are also, my organization Muhammadiyah, has been invited by the Community of Sant'Egidio to work together for the conflict resolution in the Central African Republic. And for the future, in the post-pandemic time, I believe that Community of Sant'Egidio must take initiative to initiate multi-faith collaboration, not only for disaster management, as there have been good examples of multi-faith collaborations between various organizations from the Catholic, Protestant, Muslims, Jewish, as well as Buddhists, especially to take the part in the problem solvings of natural disasters. But this is the time now to work together, and I hope this will be the result and recommendation from this year's conference here in Rome, to set up agenda to bring the people into collaboration in 3 levels. This is the last minutes I would like to say. Number 1, to share ethical shared values among our different beliefs. We do believe that we share the same ethical values. And number 2, I think for the higher learning institutions based on religious organization to work together to find ways to prevent such pandemic to happen again in the future. And the last one, of course, I think we work with our government to work together for so many humanitarian problems we are facing now in the world today. And by doing so, I do believe interfaith dialogue has now should come to dialogue of action. Thank you very much.